Get ready to be thrown down into the dungeons of hell, or limbo, with nothing to stop you from death. Well, apart from the fact that you're already dead. But there are a few scraps that you find around the place to help you. A Long Way Down sets off to be a turn-based tactical game, utilising card and deck building and procedurally generated levels. How well does it all come together? Well, we're about to check that out. This is A Long Way Down. Say hello to Sam, the main character of our game, who wakes up to some startling news upon our introduction of A Long Way Down. You see, Sam has gone and inconveniently died, and learns of this by communicating with Mabry, the friend who is performing Sam that a spontaneous death is the least of his worries, and that making his way out of limbo is going to be a big challenge, especially with some lost souls and interesting enemies floating around down here. For some, this news might be off-putting, and you would need some time to really let it sink in. But not Sam. He's a go-getter and will jump straight into the adventure. But it's not all bad news for Sam. Mabry has managed to give some help in the form of some stolen cards, and therefore we don't find ourselves defenseless. Hence, we jump into A Long Way Down gameplay and get a taste of the mechanics. The game operates by giving levels that require objectives to be completed to make it through. Defeat the bad guy, find some chests, that type of thing. In addition to this, there are optional quests that will give some extra challenge and allow some more rewards for the player. I found the game quite challenging in the early parts, so I was quite strategic with whether or not choosing to risk it all for a bit of loot was a good idea. For, as you can see, in A Long Way Down, if you die within a stage, you lose all the different items, potions, armor and cards that you have collected since starting that round. There is definitely an element of risk and reward at play here. One interesting part of the game is the way the levels are laid out and how you interact with them. You take turns competing with the dungeon master or other enemies and need to create, destroy and rotate paths to ensure that you can get to the goal. This all occurs with procedurally generated levels, which adds to the replayability of the game and also would make speedrunning A Long Way Down even more challenging. There is a large tactical element in making sure that your paths are not opening you up to enemies that will attack you, and also ensuring that you don't run out of slabs and get stuck in your current position. Campfires can be a lifesaver, giving you a quick jolt of health back. Keep an eye out for them on the map. I was quite surprised at how difficult the enemies can be, especially in the early levels of the game. That's not to say the game is too hard, just that it very quickly sets you the task of needing to think your way through. And for people new to the genre, this is going to be a learning curve and can be quite unforgiving. Luckily, upon being defeated, you just go back to the start, minus your loot along the way. Building decks is a big part of A Long Way Down, and finding the balance between buffs, heals and attacks is always going to be something that takes a bit of time. Upon defeating enemies or completing challenges and levels, you are given rewards that include armor, weapons and a stack of cards. Your job is then to choose which cards, armor and weapons you want to be taking with you into the dungeon, and also spinning powder, a resource you collect through battles and recycling unwanted cards to upgrade everything that you deem important. The battle system is quite straightforward. Whoever engages first on the map gets priority to attack first, and you get a certain amount of action points, starting at 3 to use for each turn. A lot of the simple cards use 1 action point, so in the early parts of the game you'll be using 3 cards for each turn, trying to kill the enemy before they kill you. As you progress, you collect more powerful cards that require more action points to use, and this is all pretty standard for turn-based card battle systems. Those who love the genre will be satisfied with the way this works. A Long Way Down definitely has enough going for it to be a must-play for fans of the roguelite and card deck building games. It is definitely a thinking game and not one to relaxingly coast your way through. It gets the Indies Blitz tick of approval and a score of 3.5 out of 5. So what do you think? Where does A Long Way Down sit in your opinions as a card-based game? Are you rushing out to purchase, or do you need a little bit more time? Well, if you're still looking for a little more gameplay, I've uploaded footage from the first hour of gameplay with limited commentary. Check it out with the video above. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest and greatest in indie games, and chat to us on the socials linked below. Until next time, take it easy.